Good morning. Welcome to JP's morning brief for June 4th, 2026. Good morning, everyone. Apologize for being late. Lost track of time. Left my phone in the other room. I did not go get it. Okay. That's all right. We'll live. All right. But thanks a lot for tuning in this morning. Please click that follow button and click that like button, please. Okay. Got 155 followers. Been on that way for a few days now. Let's get some more in there. Come on, guys. Come on. All right. So we'll get this done for 30 minutes and then turn and burn for 1 hour from now for the JPA report. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And then, so let's get started because this 30 minutes goes quick. All right. So, the armament shop, whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop is Copperas Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection of pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing and for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes. He has over 3 decades of experience. Hold on just a second here. Over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Copperas Cove, or call or text 254-560-2023, or visit www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety, our priority. Sorry about stalling there for a second. My tablet went crazy on me for some reason. Okay, no big deal. Let's continue. Before we get to the RAN update, just so you know, this day in history. Okay, I know I don't do the America 250 in this session. I do it in a JPA report, but this is today in history. This is an important day. On June 4th, 1989. Okay, man, I was a private in the Army back then. The Chinese military moved into Beijing's Tiananmen Square to violently squelch student protests. It has been estimated that those butchered by the Red Army range from a low hundreds into the thousands, with many more injured and up to 10,000 arrested. And to this day, the Chinese government forbids any mention of the incident inside of China. All right. Just so you know, a lot of people forget about Tiananmen Square, but I vividly remember. I was an active duty Army. That was something else. All right. The Iran update. Project Freedom still. Yesterday morning, there was 1 killed and 63 wounded in Kuwait at the Kuwait airport. Yesterday was also the first ever U.S. Hezbollah telephone contact. Trump says the ceasefire with Iran is still intact, and inflation in Iran is about 200%. We were crying over 21%. This is 20%. And then half of the Iranian army has not been paid in months. I was a soldier for 25 years. I don't know what I would do if I was in that position, but not being paid it's bad. All right. And then late yesterday afternoon or into the evening, Israel and Lebanon agreed to a U.S. brokered ceasefire. And it says the Department of State on Wednesday announced that the United States has brokered a major ceasefire breakthrough between Israel and Lebanon. The agreement was reached during a trilateral meeting held June 2nd and 3rd after negotiations began May 29th. See, not everything is always publicized in the public media. As a result, the U.S.-led negotiations, Israel and Lebanon agreed to implementation of a ceasefire. The Department of State said in a joint statement, Israel and Lebanon reaffirmed they have no hostile intent toward one another and committed to continue direct negotiations to build confidence, resolve all outstanding issues, and work toward a comprehensive agreement between the two countries. Officials said the deal is currently conditional, requiring the Iran-backed, Lebanon-based terror groups Hezbollah to cease all attacks, withdraw its fighters from southern Lebanon's South Litani sector, and prevent the reemergence of non-state armed groups. As part of the agreement, pilot zones will be established and placed under the exclusive control of the Lebanese armed forces, not Hezbollah, to prevent militant groups from operating in the area. Hezbollah is not just the enemy of Israel; it is the enemy of America. But that is an enemy of Lebanon, officials said. Both sides are scheduled to meet again during the week of June 22nd to continue negotiations toward a comprehensive peace treaty. Oh my goodness, that would be great. Any permanent agreement to end hostilities must be reached directly between the two governments and brokered by the U.S. Department added. There's a start. Stop the needless killing on both sides, man. All right. And then the Speaker yesterday opposed the War Powers Resolution Act that passed the House of Representatives. It passed like 212, 218 to 212 or something like that. Four Republicans, it passed 215 to 208. Four Republicans voted with Democrats. Thomas Massie, Warren Davidson, Brian Fitzpatrick, and Tom Barrett all voted with the Democrats to thumb their nose at the President of the United States. Two of them I've heard a lot that do it a lot is Fitzpatrick and Thomas Massie. You hear their name all the time, thumbing their nose at the president. So, but needless to say, if the Democrats can get their act together and match bills up in the Senate and the House, which they don't have a majority in the Senate, but if they were able to and it reaches the president's desk, it would be vetoed. Okay, so yeah, sucks to be them. Brent crude oil is at $96.89 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate is at $95.28 a barrel. And the Dow Jones yesterday afternoon closed down 620.72 points to settle in at 50,687.07. Now, I want to just reiterate something. It was down 620 points. Oh my goodness, it's such a travesty. Do you realize the Dow Jones is over 50,000 points? Unbelievable. You know, you're going to get course corrections here and there. That is unbelievable. That is something else. All right, so that's your Iran update for this morning. And then onward to the election, the supposed election in California, because it's not over with. This is day 2, or this is day 3 of the California election. Go figure, right? They're still counting ballots. They have 7. California, as long as their mail-in ballot is postmarked by last Tuesday, it has up to 7 days to get to the election headquarters. And then after they go through it, they have another 7 or 14 days they can get a hold of the people and ask them, oh, you made a mistake on your mail-in ballot. Would you like to fix it so we can count your vote? Really? After the votes, oh yeah, that's another thing. The ballot needs to be cured. They open up the ballot. Oh, and by the way, they're seeing the vote on there. And now you're going to ask that person, would you like to fix your ballot? Or try to talk them out of fixing their ballot and say, don't worry about it after they've seen the election returns. Yeah, it's bogus, it's fake, it's derogatory, and it's disrespectful to the American people to be able to do that. All right, so need to digress. If you're watching, don't forget, please click that like button for the day's show. And if you're not already a follower of the podcast, please click that the follow button, please. Okay. Now, that being said, in the results so far, there have been no results released in 24 hours. No ballot drops at all in California, right? Since yesterday morning. So we're still at 55.8% submitted in the governor's race. Steve Hilton still has 27.6%. Becerra, Alex Becerra still has 25.6%. And Tom Steyer still has 19.8%. Now, go next door to the LA mayor's race. Karen Bass is still sitting at 35%. Spencer Pratt is still at 29.9%. And Miss Rahman is at 22.8% with only 62% of the ballots counted. That's all. That is complete. So this is from the Federalist. I'm only going to read a portion of it. Okay. California desperately needs a major course correction. In the primary elections so far, mostly tell us that nothing of the kind is even possible. You can't fail in California if you have a D behind your name. The vote blue no matter who rule has you covered. The political nightmare is developing here, the scale of which is hard to exaggerate because of a comfortable majority of California voters just pull the lever for the new version of Tammany Hall, that's in New York City, no matter what. But before we talk about election results, note that we don't really have those. Last night, because I printed this yesterday, California's Secretary of State Shirley Weaver made the usual announcement that one expects regarding elections in the third world. On election night, we have a good picture of the outcome of most contests, but it will take weeks to know the final results. This is normal. She's not kidding. As I write this, that would be, where's the author? Oh, man. Okay, I'm sorry. I should have the author on this. Probably at the very back. And nope, they don't show it. Oh, man. Okay, so as I write this afternoon after election night, we've counted a little more than half of the expected ballots in an election that appears to hover about a 25% turnout. Here's what that means. In 2010, district attorney's race in San Francisco, a young Kamala Harris, if you remember that obscure name, appeared to have lost the race for California Attorney General to Republican DA in Los Angeles, Steve Cooley. Here's the old news. Headline that revisits the outcome. When Kamala Harris lost election night, but won it 3 weeks later. Certain but very interesting things tend to happen when California counts new ballots several weeks after Election Day. with that important proviso in mind, we can consider that what seems to happen so far is a California primary history, and it's bad, 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 bad news. The woman stepped off of an airplane from a trip to another continent while wildfires could engulf roughly 7% of her giant city from where burning in a place in a badly understaffed, under-equipped fire department. And here's what she did. Unspoken catatonic silence. I thought watching this that her career was over. The joke was on me. Yeah, Karen Bass should be losing in a landslide, and she's not. And the problem is the same with Alex Becerra is pretty much if you're a Democrat, you're going to shut the Republicans out, unless, like this race, may be a turncoat. Is it not a turncoat? That's not a good term. A turnover election. But usually they box out the Republicans, so there's no way to counteract at all. And that's the honest truth. You box out the Republicans, and you guarantee a Democrat can win. And then the problem is, okay, so if you got Democrat across the board and a couple of Republicans, what incentive is it for a Republican to go vote? Because like me, I'm not voting for a Democrat. I'm voting for Republicans. And that's the way I've been, right? So if you settle down and you depress turnout because all you can do is vote for a Democrat, how's the Republican ever going to win? Seriously. They got to get rid of this top 2-tier voting system along with the jungle primary and bring back and get rid of the automatic mailed out ballots. They got to completely revolutionize the voting system in California. There's no reason it should take weeks. I would say it again, take weeks to conduct an election, no matter what. In Texas, we can do it one day, maybe a day and a half. Depends how close the election is. Florida, Ohio, almost every single state in the country can count their ballots in about a day. Why did it take 3.5 weeks to do it in California? All right, next. Dateline yesterday, United States Congress. The new Secretary of Homeland Security, Markwayne Mullin, that's without an S. Some certain podcasters out there like to put an S at the end of his name, but it's Markwayne Mullin, was given a briefing to the House of Representatives. And he's not used to that because he is a U.S. Senator, right? Oh, he was. He got an argument with the famous outgoing Congressman Al Green, because Al Green got defeated in his primary, thank goodness, during the runoff, right? So, yesterday, he got in a tit for tat with Markwayne Mullin from Oklahoma, right? Representative Al Green, Democrat, Texas, was caught on video calling Homeland Security Secretary Markwayne Mullin a racist during a House committee meetings Wednesday focused on department funding. Following the national outburst, Green responded to Mullin to shut up. The Homeland Security Secretary could be seen cocking his head in apparent surprise as Al Green continued his verbal attack. Did you just tell me to shut up? Mullin asked. As the sound of the gavel rang out, Gavin shouted, "It's my time. I'm not going to let anyone call me a racist, Chairman," Markwayne Mullin repeatedly told Andrew Garabino, who serves as the chairman of the House Committee on Homeland Security. I'll stop there. I'll continue the rest of this later on. But did Al Green know that Mark Wayne Mullen is a Cherokee Indian from Oklahoma? He called an American Indian racist. How is that possible? Because as far as I know, you can't call a black person racist. Only white people can be racist. But if you're not white, how can you be racist, Mr. Green? Shake your little cane like that again. You did it yesterday. You did it to the President of the United States. You're a racist bigot yourself. Anyway, and I'm so happy you lost your re-election bid. You didn't even lose it to a white Republican. You lost it to another black person because you're incompetent, racist bigot. Ha! Take that, you fool. All right. So, man, I get riled up sometimes. I tell you. I hope y'all are enjoying this. All right, next is back to the Democrats in the House of Representatives yesterday. In the Judiciary Committee yesterday, Republicans introduced a constitutional amendment proposal that would cap the Supreme Court to just 9 justices, and not a single Democrat on the committee voted to support it. The moment came during the committee markup for HJ1, House Joint Resolution 1, which would require SCOTUS to be composed of just 9 justices. The measures passed among party lines 15-8, which means it now goes to the full House for consideration. And I can guarantee you no Democrat will vote for it there either. But that's the problem. Got to have 2/3 vote or 3/4 vote for the passage of a constitutional amendment to go to the president for signature, and then it goes to the American public, to the state legislatures. The primary method used to amend the Constitution requires that any proposed amendment have at least 2/3 support from both chambers of the Congress and 3/4 of the states. That means, assuming all Republicans vote in favor, a sizable number of Democrats will be needed to support the amendment on the House floor for it to advance. And they try this a lot, but this is normal. This shows you that the Democrats are hell-bent on increasing the size of the Supreme Court and flood it with liberal justices. That's all they want to do. Puerto Rico, D.C. states increased the Supreme Court to 13 or 21 members. That's all they want to do. HJR1 enjoyed the backing of Keep 9 Coalition, alliance of bipartisan former state attorneys generals and grassroots organizations that had spent years spearheading the amendment's passage. Keep 9 Coalition Director Roman Buehler said that in a statement ahead of Wednesday's vote, that a successful effort by either party to expand the size of the court would unleash a destructive cycle of revenge court packing that could undermine the independence of the Supreme Court we depend on to protect every one of our constitutional rights. All right? So there's a method to their madness. They're trying to protect the integrity of the Supreme Court. 9 justices is all that we need. All right? All right. So, man, where's my pencil? We're at 9:55, and we're running out of time. Get my stuff ready here. Hold on just a second. Remember, I'm a one-man show, okay? All right. So, 6:55, and we can go over this next racist thing. All right. So there was a superseding indictment to the SPLC yesterday. So per the Department of Justice, an SPLC employee encouraged F1, F32, that would be informants, right, to stay in the movement and offered to pay them $1,200 a month salary as well as pay for expenses as occurred. The SPLC used donor funds to pay KKK members to remain with the racist organization despite their insistence on wanting to leave, according to a new superseding Justice Department indictment. The new bombshell report came as part of a new DOJ filing, first reported Tuesday evening, that would be last night, that expands on the allegations contained in the agency's April indictment against the SPLC, Southern Poverty Law Center, another racist organization. The department revealed that the SPLC, a far-left group known as for putting targets on the backs of conservative organizations by falsely labeling them as hate groups, had been charged with 11 counts related to allegedly making false, fraudulent payments to extremist groups like KKK as part of a supposedly covert informant scheme. So he had two informants that wanted to get out of the system because of, their life is in danger, and you know that they're fake and they're false, and you want to get around from it. And the SPLC said, stay there. We'll pay you $1,200 a month, which is minuscule, but we'll pay you $1,200 a month plus expenses to stay there, and hopefully you won't get a bullet in your brain while you're earning this $1,200 that is minuscule. I mean, what could go wrong there, right? People disappear all the time, all over our country, and they want to pay them $1,200 a month plus expenses. Stupid. All right, we'll get more of that. It's already 6:58. Let me finish. All right, so I will. Let me go over this real quick. Tonight in Belton, by the Belton Dam, there's the Dead Fish Grill. Good food. 6 p.m., Pints and Politics. Be there, all right? Next, Tuesday, June 9th, 6 p.m., Giovanni's in Coppers Cove. Coppers Cove Conservative Club. Be there. Have fun. Associate with good Republicans, and we can go over what's going on in our community, all right? So those are two good events that's about to happen. Also, next week, June 11th through June 13th, is the Texas GOP convention in Houston, Texas. Still room to go. I can't. I got other stuff going on, but I can't. And plus, I got the podcast. I would love to go to the convention one time. That'd be great. So Pints and Politics tonight and Dead Fish Grill, and then at 6 p.m. And then Tuesday, Giovanni's at Coppers Cove, 6 p.m. I will see y'all in an hour for the JPA report. I hope everyone has a good day. Join me back. We'll go more in depth because we still got all that. I'm going to do our raid into Vince. Let me see here. Well, it did it. Ooh, all right, I'm doing it. So the raid has been initiated. I will catch y'all in an hour. This is James. Catch you on the flip side. I'm out.